Breaking news, everyone! BlizzCon is back. Officially announced it's coming in 2026, but what does it mean for the future of WoW? I'm excited. Are you excited?
Oh, I'm so excited, man, because WoW has been doing better and better, and now we're just getting a big announcement with BlizzCon 2026 while on the cusp of the World Soul Saga.
I mean, dude, they've been so quiet about so many things. I think it's finally
suspiciously quiet.
Yeah, it's suspiciously quiet. It's a lot of stuff. So let's just get into it and let's talk about why does this matter first of all, because like BlizzCon, for the longest time, we all know it was the place for like the biggest, craziest announcements in the history of the Blizzard franchises. Focusing on a moment, BlizzCon was the place where they first announced the Warcraft movie. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like everybody lost their marbles on that. They announced the World Soul Saga. That was like who would have thought they would announce 3 expansions?
Yeah, that was like super controversial. That was the last time we had it, and that was some time ago.
Yeah. It's basically at this point 2 years. It's gonna be 3 years in 2026. So I think they're gonna have a lot of stuff going over it. Now, let's speculate a bit. What can they? Because we know that the expansions by the time this happens. So in 2026, in September 12 and 13, I believe. Yes, 12 and 13. Yeah. By that time, we will be knee deep in midnight.
Yeah,
right?
probably halfway through midnight. So obviously the biggest elephant in the room would be that they're gonna be announcing Last Titan. I mean, where would they announce Last Titan if it wouldn't be there?
Yeah, I think so the sentiment I feel will be that, man, but we already know what this expansion is. Like, what can they possibly hype us about? But what we don't know is what are the features of that expansion? How will the teaser look like? The cinematic?
Oh yeah.
What are the changes like?
The thing is, we just know the name of the expansion, and we can only speculate because it's the Last Titan. Oh, Azeroth team, Pantheon team, whatever. But even with Midnight, we kind of assume that we're gonna get Xal'atath until we actually see what's going to happen. Yeah. Which I think in this summer we're gonna have the reveal of Midnight.
Yeah. Probably at Gamescom.
So after this summer, most likely we will know exactly what might we expect at BlizzCon for the Last Titan. Because well, I don't know if Last Titan is gonna bring a new feature like player housing is for Midnight, where they've announced it essentially like half a year before. So whatever Last Titan brings, it will probably be announced there.
I can almost guarantee you they're gonna bring back some form of battle power. Done right this time, because Ian kind of hinted sort of in the past that, man, it ain't like 100% gone away, but if it ever gonna bring back the borrowed power, well, when we talk about borrowed power, legendary weapons, the artifact weapons, the Azerite traits, which were not like super good, but they want to do it right. So
for sure. People have been asking for borrow power, or essentially a grinding system, which I think now that kind of transformed into the upgrade system for weapons, where once you get the weapon, you can still grind power and put it into weapon by essentially upgrading its level, and that kind of is getting a little bit boring and bland. So people kind of want, like, I don't know if they want a gimmick or a theme, or to feel like whatever they do, it constantly goes towards a goal of increasing, and it would make sense if we're gonna raise the stakes to fighting the Pantheon.
It might happen. It would be the perfect context, right? So we're gonna have a lot of like crazy stuff being announced, I'm sure, for the Last Titan. But I'm thinking, like, what about something else? Maybe a Warcraft game, a different game genre for Warcraft. Maybe.
I mean, we know 100% they're working on other Warcraft IPs.
There's a lot of stuff happening within the Warcraft universe.
And they've been saying that. I mean, we've been speculating ever since we heard that Metzen is coming on board and being in charge of the Warcraft franchise, not just WoW. And we talked about other Warcraft projects. Who was it at the time? John Hyde was talking about.
He was like the big boss. Yeah. And they said they wanted to expand this IP to like each and every other media possible.
Silence since then. Right, so
nothing. Well, Holly mentioned that nothing to announce yet. But
nothing to announce, but nothing brewing. Not to announce. Right? It's not. She didn't say, "Oh, it's over. We're just going a different way." They didn't say that. So usually, when you make like a new game, depending on the scope of the game, that takes a bunch of years, especially if you want to do it right. So it would kind of align. When was this? Like 2 years ago, and with one more year, it'd be like 3 or 4 years. That's kind of industry standard when you're making a new game, unless it's an MMO. That takes like forever, apparently.
My hopes are either excited for a Warcraft 4, finally a fully fledged Warcraft 4. I know it's big copium, but I'm not saying it cannot happen.
You know what's interesting about that? A little bit of a side note on potential Warcraft strategies. There's this whole community on Warcraft WoW Classic, OnlyFans, with all of that, and now they're starting to go into a Warcraft tournament.
Yeah, I see with Grubby and all.
Yeah. And Blizzard sponsors that tournament with $10,000.
There you go.
This is
a wink, wink.
This is the Blizzard that stopped sponsoring StarCraft 2 tournaments like years ago. They've pulled the plug on Heroes of the Storm, especially competitive wise, and now they're like, I mean, this is pennies. But still, they're associating themselves with competitive RTS. I mean, one can only hope that this might be like, oh, we're already working on Warcraft 4. Might as well just, bring a little bit of love in Warcraft. Not to mention that Warcraft has been getting patches and in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the stars are aligned.
It could happen. But also, I think like a new BlizzCon, like after a break of 3 years at that point, would be sort of like a full circle of redemption for Blizzard. I feel after all the years of turmoil and stuff, finally getting rid of Bobby Kotick, getting bought by Microsoft, within the Xbox gaming division, having Metzen back, and probably him being the center stage, having some crazy good announcement for that BlizzCon, because they also kind of like framed it as, okay, guys, we're going to focus on what matters the most to you. So no more Diablo Immortal announcements, things like that. And I'm hopeful for that as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking they really want to go all out crazy with this one, and there's a lot of stuff being packed all over.
I mean, the sheer fact that they're taking their sweet time in scheduling any type of BlizzCons,
and they announced it like now.
Yeah,
like, we have so much ahead.
Why? That is probably the biggest question. Is like, why did they announce it now? And why does it need a year and a half? Do they need to build hype? Do they? Because okay, so Blizzard and hype have a very, very interesting relationship, and they've had it over the years. They never build up hype unless they're like 100% sure it's gonna have a big payoff.
Yep.
There has never in the history of Blizzard, to my knowledge, maybe you know better, has been a hype build up of 1.5 years for an event that we didn't know anything about whatsoever.
It's true. But you know what's more important? The fact that we will be there this time around.
We got the best part. Holy shit.
For the very first time, we're gonna be there. We're gonna cover everything and update everybody who is following us on the YouTube channel, on the Twitters, and all of that. And hey, if you're gonna come there, maybe we can meet up and chat it out and nerd it and geek it out about everything that's happening and has been happening. It's gonna be a crazy time, so we're already planning on what the hell we're gonna do over there. But we're curious, like, what do you want for this BlizzCon, to be announced? I mean, are you hoping for something World of Warcrafty, something Warcraft? Let us know in the comments. Like, we're legit hyped and curious on what you guys are hoping to see. Are you gonna be there? And if you're gonna be there, are you gonna come say hello to us? That's the main important part, right?
You're gonna see Marcelian over there. I'm gonna be hiding through the bushes.
No, come on, man. No, it's gonna be
good, man. Who knows? WoW 2.0, WoW Warcraft 4. Let us know in the comments down below, because it's pretty.
Exactly. So yeah, it's shaping up to be a very, very great year. Like with the Midnight expansion being already released, it's gonna be in September. That's interesting. So 12 and 13 September 2026. Same place, Anaheim Convention Center. It's as opposed to other BlizzCons, it's way earlier, because BlizzCon usually is in November, something like that. But once again, we're excited. We hope you are excited. Let us know in the comments what you think, and catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.